This month is a great month to make your mental health and your own personal emotional healing a priority. And for some, this may mean finally deciding to start seeing a therapist. And for this reason, I've partnered with BetterHelp to assist you guys in finding a therapist that's right for you. With all of the chaos, confusion, and uncertainty going on in the world right now, coupled with our own personal daily struggles, now is definitely a great time to talk to someone who can not just be a listening ear, but can also help you with the what, the hows, and the whys that you're experiencing what you're experiencing. So if you or someone you know and love is going through something right now and feels the need for a little more help, I stress that you guys take advantage of this resource.
Hello, beautiful empathic humans. Princess India here. Back again, you know what I'm saying? Here on Surrounding Hero channel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm here to do you guys empaths only reading for August. And in the event you're not an empath, I need you to go ahead and exit right now. Right now, I said right now. I'm not kidding. Now, at this moment, okay, totally kidding. Even if you don't identify as an empath, we'll let you watch because we're empathic and kind and whatnot, or whatever. So anywho, we're going to go ahead and jump in. This is a reading for the Empath Collective. So in the event that you identify with said term, this reading's for you, my friend. So I'm doing things a little bit different than I've done in the last couple of months, and I screwed it up a little bit because I'm hoping that you guys can hear me because my mic is like, brother, and I was like, way back there. Okay, so extra. Lovely anyway. So I'm doing things a tad bit different. I'm going to go ahead and pick the overall energy for the month because I feel like I need to do that from my Chakra Oracle deck. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our Starseed Oracle. Oh, see what message up. We have for my Empath Collective. Well, you're technically not mine. I don't think there's ownership on the Empath Collective. I mean, technically, like, if you belong to anyone, it would be Seren, you know, but you're going to be mine today, you know what I'm saying? Anywho, we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear, direct guidance. So let me get an overall energy for the Empath Collective for the month of August. Please get anything they need to know, anything of utmost importance. All right, let's see, Heather, my friends. Overall energy for the Empath Collective and what's not whatever. I don't know why I'm so excited. Maybe it's because it's Leo season, you know? My eye season Leo, so I guess this is affecting me somehow. Maybe, I don't know. I know nothing about astrology. I'm making conversation while I get you guys overall energy. I hope you enjoy it. If you're an introvert empath, you know, this is probably the most people contact you've had in some time. I feel you, you know? Any day now, Spirit, you know? If I could just, okay, that's way too many cards. If I could just get a card, that would be nice. So how's your family? Do you have a good day today? It's pretty cool. Is it weird that, you know, someone's talking to you through your smartphone or, you know, your TV? Did you leave the stove on? Totally kidding. There we are. The overall energy for the month of August for the Empath Collective is faith. So here's the deal, my wonderful empath people. So main message I want to give you guys in reference to this is that everything that you experience in this life, that you have experienced in your life, is but a moment, right? And oftentimes we have the misconception where we end up making something that's temporary, something that happened. We make a moment a lifetime. We allow something that happened in a split second, or something that happened in our childhood, or something that happened temporarily in our life at one point in time, even if it's something that existed over a period of time but isn't existing anymore. My throat chakra, you know, we allow those things to define us, right? And we inadvertently make our entire life about those things. And I feel that's the most important take-home thing here. It's more or less having your faith in something bigger than yourself, something outside of yourself, something in the distant future, if you will,
And that may sound a little counterproductive, especially those of you who are here listening to this from my channel, because I always stress the importance of building yourself up within. But I can say from my own personal experience on my healing journey, I struggled with low self-esteem for most of my life. And it was very difficult for me to go within first, right? So when I looked inside of Princess, I thought, like, she's nobody, right? Like, there's nothing of value in there. So I felt that my experience defined me, like who I was as a person. And what I had to do to get out of my own head was more or less finding value in things that were external to me. So whether it's losing weight or, you know, getting a good job or dressing a certain way or makeup or whatever. And I allowed those things to be a temporary sense of value until I worked my way into my inner self, right? So all of us in our processes are different. But I say all of that to say, it's more or less not allowing your experience to define you. That's one of many methods to kind of get out from under that. So I feel those of you who are going to resonate with this reading, you guys' biggest struggle coming into August is more or less having a perception of limited options. It's like feeling as if your present as well as your future are very much limited. But I feel the thing that you're not realizing about that is the only thing that's limiting it is something that you experienced in the past that's very much temporary, that isn't happening right now, and thinking that makes a statement of who you are. And it's just not true, my friend, you know? So we're going to go ahead and jump in to you guys reading, my friends. I also want to say in reference to that, it's important to know that you guys are supported, even if it's not by human people, it is by your spiritual team, your spiritual guides, and all of those super cool ascended master people we have over there in the ethers and whatnot, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing to know. If you ever do feel alone, it's knowing that there's many spiritual beings that are very much invested in your well-being and success, my friend. So let's see what we have going on for my empath collective. I still called you mine. I think you belong to me secretly. Central energy, we have cracked open. That's something we talked about in my Leo premiere today. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Ooh, that's deep. Past influence, so coming out of July into August, we have Earth School. It says life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. Your underlying energy is Star Brothers. And it says Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Your above energy is the blue flame, one of my favorite cards. Spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. And leading out of August and going into September, we have I'm sorry, lo siento. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. So I can say, my wonderful empath collective, I would have to say that in the month of August, you guys are going to be, I don't want to say dealing with, but I'll say experiencing. You guys are going to be experiencing an epic healing, if you will, an epic transformation. The reason for this is more or less you guys ascending to a higher state of consciousness, which would be the awareness that you are above your experience. What does that mean, Princess, when you say that we're above our experience? Well, it literally means that you've already overcome the world. Every single problem that you have ever or will ever face in your life already has a solution. Your path is already predestined. You know where you're going. You know who you are, in a soul essence. But how is it that you remember all of those things? It's through this school of thought, because Earth School is legit a school of thought, that says that everything that you're experiencing in your life is not things happening to you, it's things happening for you. Those of you familiar with me know that I say this more times than you can probably recall, but I've said it a lot, all the time, you know what I mean? But in so many words, it's more or less you guys coming to a place of healing to where you're no longer defined by your experience. It's that ever-present block that has existed in your life that you feel like you can't get around. And if I were to use an example, it would be something along the lines of a mindset. People like me don't accomplish things like that. Someone like me could not do something like that. All of these are manifestations of blocks. However, knowing that we, in a soul essence sense, we elect to incarnate into this realm
what I'm about to explain is a whole nother school of thought, you know what I mean? But my belief system is that we incarnate into this realm for a very specific reason. It is because our soul wants to evolve, it wants to unfold, it wants to know itself completely in the absence of the all, and thus find the all, and then know itself as the all or an aspect of the all in a human body, right? So it's more or less your higher self orchestrates this whole thing. Picture little birth chart. It's like, I want to go through that, I want to have those struggles because it needs it for its own personal evolution. When you approach your life and see your life from that higher perspective, that's what helps you overcome the world, because technically you already have. It's like life, I like to think of it as the biggest, longest running game of hide and go seek that all of humanity is playing with each other, right? So it's more or less an empowered perspective. It's a shift in your perspective of your experience. So as opposed to feeling at the will of your experience and all of these horrible things happened to you and you didn't deserve this and what did you do to deserve such things, it's more or less standing in an empowered perspective and understanding, wow, I must have really been a gangster if I was like, I want those parents, right? Or I want that life experience. Like I could slay that with my eyes closed, you know? And that's something that kind of helps you to feel more empowered over your experience. Because when we feel as if life is happenstance, it's a whole bunch of random things that are kind of happening that we have no control over, it can lead you into feeling disempowered and, of course, blocked and stuck, where your entire life will become, like I said in the beginning, about something that was merely just a moment. However, the way that we come into this awareness with this cracked open card, it's more or less not necessarily the best way. You know, I find that things like this have a tendency to happen, but let me give you a little segue here. I was going to say that things like this have a tendency to happen when we're hard-headed, but I believe in my own spiritual evolution and all the work that I've done with other people, I feel as if this is inevitable. You know what I mean? I feel that, and this is me putting my therapist hat on a little bit, but it's literally that human beings as a collective, all of us, woke and unwoke, you know what I mean? Empathic and non, you know what I mean? We have a tendency to take things for granted. We only have a tendency to care and to appreciate when we lose. And as an empathic person, it's the thought of, I love and appreciate everyone that's in my life. True. However, it's thinking about things that aren't people. You know, when is the last time you washed your car? When's the last time you got your oil changed? When's the last time you've been to the dentist? When's the last time you got a checkup? You know what I mean? Because we can put a lot of energy and emphasis on people, but neglect so many other things in our life, our health, our body, things of the sort. But I find that if one elects to follow this path of awakening and ascension, hitting rock bottom is inevitable, because it seems to be the only way that you can truly die to the old self. As long as you have an incentive to exist as your false self, there's no incentive to rip it off. So I say that to say that a lot of times when we find ourselves in places where we lose everything, or we lose our job and we're like broke, living on a couch somewhere, you know, or you find yourself in a really less than stellar experience in your life, that is a signifier or a catalyst, if you will, of your awakening. Because when you are stripped down of all things that have value in a human context, in a 3D context, in a matrix context, in your conditioning context, when all of that is stripped away from you, the only thing that you're left with is you. And that's the moment for all humans where it's make or break. It's either you're going to completely give in and descend to the darkness, or those who on a soul essence start to tap in and say, I need to fight, I need to be courageous, I need to move forward. Those are the people who begin this awakening path, right? So when you have the strength to take that leap, that's a testament of one's character, that's a testament of your inner power. And when you tap into such a frequency, there is no going back from that. When you realize that you're at that crossroads or that catalyst of life, and you realize that everything that you ever thought mattered doesn't really matter, that's not what's important, the things that you spent so much time on are no longer important, that puts you on the cusp of true awakening. because one literally has to be willing to die to themselves, to die to the old life, to die to the matrix, to die to societal conditioning. All of these things fall away when we're at rock bottom in order for you to even get a glimmer of who it is that you really are. But as long as we're trapped in the programming of the three-dimensional world and living up to expectations of our parents and our friends and husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, society, and things of the sort, you are forever trapped in that paradigm. And I say that to say that I find that this is inevitable, because the only thing that ever gives a human being an incentive to ever think that there's something more than they've been told that they are, to think that there's something more than they've been conditioned to believe that they are, is when you come to a point when you have no other distractions, you have nothing else, and you're at that lowest of the low. So whether that's in a very external sense of you guys literally like feeling as if you're at rock bottom, losing houses, jobs, and things of the sort, or if it's just simply an emotional vibration, this is a catalyst for your healing. And it's literally how the wheat is separated from the chaff, if you will. I feel with this energy, it's going to lead you guys to descend into this truth of who you are. So this is going to get really deep, but it's almost the equivalent of descending into hell and then ascending into the proverbial heavens, if you will. So it's more or less realizing that in the midst of this whole experience you guys have, it's seeing that you're protected or that you're safe, right? It's trusting in spirit. It's trusting in yourself. You don't feel strong enough to do that just yet. It's trusting in the process. It's realizing that every time you found yourself in those dead ends or those blocks or in a really horrible situation, you've always found a way out. However, I feel this darkness or the sadness is going to last long enough for you to begin to question things you've never questioned before. And just the act of that questioning is what resurrects, proverbially speaking, you guys into this blue flame energy, which is the spontaneous awakening. So it's more or less, it's a spiritual activation, but this is more or less showing how it plays out in the 3D. And I really feel that this is a testament of everyone who's listening to this, because I know this is a lot of, you know, lofty-minded, esoterical jib-jab and things of the sort. But those of you who resonate with what I'm saying, that hear the words behind the words of what I'm saying, because that's a little, you know, trick there. When you hear the words behind the words that I'm saying, and hearing the words behind the words means that you're listening to me with your human ears. You hear every word coming out of my mouth, but inside of your heart, you hear an entirely different narrative that somehow speaks to your soul and feels like a warm, fuzzy hug, you know? That's the words behind the words. So I feel those of you who resonate with this reading in that perspective, where this is saying something to you without saying it, but saying it at the same time, that whole paradoxical energy, I feel for you all, this is a trumpet call for your awakening, you know? And I feel with this new awareness, when you overstand your situation, which is the most beautiful thing, I call it the director's chair of life. When you go through a true awakening, you ascend to a higher state and level of being. And suddenly you see your entire life, all of your experiences from a very objective point of view. And you start to understand that things that you once felt ruled your life or controlled your life, or the limitations that you thought that you had, never really existed. And you realize that you have the power and the wherewithal to be whoever you want to be and however you want to be it. Whatever you want to manifest, you can call that into your life and you can have it. However, having that awareness also makes you aware of the damage that's been done to your human psychology, your human consciousness, your emotional world, your body, mind, connection, and things of the sort. So even though you ascend to the lofty-mindedness of what's possible, it also comes with the awareness of what needs to be done to uproot what it is that you've been through. So those of you who've experienced trauma in your past or bad relationships and things of the sort, you get that higher perspective, but that higher perspective allows you to see what's possible going forward, but also allows you to see how your experience has wounded you. And then it's the journey of being able to uproot that. The dope thing about it is you're no longer submitted to this experience, meaning that you feel at the will of this healing process. It's now understanding this is the problem, this is how this affected me, and the only thing that you're going out to do is finding the best methodology to, uproot whatever it is that has affected you. Even more so, this also starts the journey of forgiving others that have wounded you, as well as forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be wounded, which I would say is the most epic, most important element of this whole process. So all in all, my wonderful empath people, in the month of August, this is a really deep spiritual month. August, of course, is a vibrational, I think vibrational is a word, right? Is a vibrational, if it's not, don't you talk about me in the comments, I'm just saying, is a vibrational number of 8. And the number 8 speaks to power and spiritual authority. And when I say power, I mean authentic power, not pseudo power, which is like type of power. It's a power that exists within the being of a person, and it speaks for itself. It says respect, it says love, it says dominion by nature. There's no need to say a word. So I feel more or less in this month, this is all about you guys stepping into your true self and your true authentic power. And I want to throw out there, because I know you guys are going to watch this at different times, I believe that the full moon, in Aquarius is on the 3rd or the 4th. It's like the first weekend of August. And I feel that that weekend is going to be very, very important for you guys, because I feel this is when all of this is going to start to activate. Whether it's you guys just feeling different or it's some sort of event, I feel that's going to be the Kickstarter of this really epic journey. And I have to say congratulations, my friend. I have been there. No, it is not beautiful, but it is amazing. When you come out the other side, you'll be so thankful that you did it. But I feel that within itself is a gift. Because if you are one of the few humans who are able to recognize the truth of who you are while you're in a physical body, that within itself should be celebrated, and that within itself is a gift, my friend. Makes you a walking miracle, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that has been the Empath Only reading for August, my friends. I love your face. If you are new to me, holler at my channel. Yeah, Seren, I totally just plug myself. Don't you talk about me. And for those of you who know who we are, we'll be back for our little Reiki session next week on Saturday. But until next month, my friends, I will see you guys in September. Love your faces. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Later.